Morning, everybody. Welcome back to my unprocessed life. It's Monday, headed back to work, and man, I'm really running late. And I don't know how the morning got away from me. I was actually early on all my time measurements. I have time measurements every morning so that I can try to keep myself on track. You know, get up at 4 o'clock or 4:15, get out of bed by 4:20, do my morning routine, get to juicing around 5. I don't know, it all got away from me. I think it was having to wash all the collard greens this morning that slowed me down, but it got away from me. And normally I leave the house between 6:15 on the early side and 6:25 on the late side. And this morning I'm leaving at almost 6:40. And in fact, I'm so embarrassed about how late I am. I haven't even texted my coworker that I'm picking up this morning to tell him how late I'm going to be because I'm so embarrassed about it. I mean, it's going to be like almost 7 o'clock by the time I get to his house, which is just insane. I should not be running this late. I'm not sure how it got away from me. I will analyze it today and figure it out. But we're not going to have this happen anymore. I'm done being this late. No matter what I have to do to get up earlier. If I have to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning to get out of the house by 6, then I'm going to do that. But it's going to have to change. It's just going to have to. And it could be that I fell off the wagon pretty hard this weekend as far as things go. I went and took my son to see a movie on Saturday, and I broke down and we had some popcorn, and I had more than I probably should have. And then I did go to Moe's and have a burrito, an Art Vandalay burrito, which is the vegetarian or vegan version, depending on how you do it. I did the vegan version. No sour cream, no cheese, etc. And so, anyway, I gained some weight this weekend for sure. I'm not sure that I had enough to step on the scales to see how bad it was, but I know that you can't eat like that and not expect some fallout from it. So we'll wait a couple days before we go to the scales and see if we can't keep that in check as far as the mental piece of it goes. But this morning I did get up and do my green juice, some collard greens, and some romaine lettuce, some lemon, ginger. It turned out to be about a 20-ounce green juice, which won't be enough to get me through the entire day, obviously. It might be enough to get me through until, I don't know, maybe 9 o'clock, maybe. I brought soup today. My wife made vegetable soup over the weekend. That's what I'm having for lunch. The vegetable soup, we make it from scratch. It's not out of a can. So it has very limited sodium. And basically the way that we make our vegetable soup is we take a big pot and we put all of our vegetables in it, fill it with water, and boil. That's pretty much it. We'll add, if we have vegetable stock, we'll add that, or sometimes we'll have the concentrated vegetable stock, which we'll add in for a little additional flavor, which always makes it really good. But for the most part, there's no additional things in there. I mean, there's some seasoning. We have some non-salt seasonings that we like to use. Like we picked up at Costco, there was a whole seasoning bottle of non-salt seasoning that I picked up one time. That is just pretty much dried vegetables that have been put in a bottle for you to shake out, kind of like a seasoning, and it enhances the flavor. So we use some of that, and I don't know exactly how she did it. She may have added some salt in there. Either way you go, it's going to be fairly low sodium based on what your typical soup would be if you went and bought something in a can and did that. So for lunch I have 2 big bowls of soup, which are not going to be a lot of calories. So I'm going to have to think about that and what I want to do. So this morning what I may do is I may go down to the cafeteria at work and get some fruit to kind of get me through. We'll see. I've got a couple bowls of soup, so I may do a soup and fruit somewhere along the way this morning to try to help get me through until lunchtime. And then I'm not sure what I'm going to do between lunch and going home time, because That's usually the stretch that gets me, because we usually do lunch at like 11 o'clock in the morning, which means that by 3 o'clock I'm really ready to eat again, because it's been 4 hours. And by 4 o'clock, when we usually leave work, it gets to be a little bit more challenging. And of course, you don't get home until 5, and if something's not made, you have to make something, which usually ends up being 6 o'clock or later. So as you can see, it can just spiral downhill if you aren't prepared for it. However, I didn't, because I'm not doing smoothies today, I didn't end up with my protein powder. So tonight when I get home, I'm going to have to find some way to get the protein powder in. And I probably should have done that earlier in the day as opposed to later in the day, because I don't think it's going to help as much later in the day. You know, you really need as many nutrients early in the morning as you can to get through the day. Otherwise, you find yourself struggling a lot to get there, to get to the end of the day without eating things you shouldn't eat and doing things you shouldn't do. So there is all that. Yeah, so there you go. That's what's happening in my unprocessed life. Did get to see a couple movies this weekend, which were fun. I had a lot of fun going with my son to go see Zootopia, and we went and saw The Good Dragon in the Dollar Theater. I love the Dollar Theater, one of my favorite things in the world. Of course, that Dollar Theater turned into like a $15 theater when we had to have the popcorn. So, and we're working with the little one to get out of that as at all possible. But it's our fault, you know. We kind of went off the rails with him early on, and we shouldn't have. And now it's a challenge to get him to eat. A mistake we will not be making with the second child, for sure. What else? That's all I can think of for right now. I didn't have a whole lot going on this weekend. I actually, other than taking Dylan out and having some fun there, we didn't do a whole lot. Worked on some videos. My wife did a lot of editing for the Electronic Cliftons page that we have. And finally, I think we're just about ready for the baby shower video for any of you that watch that channel. And then we played with the babies and so forth. So it was a pretty boring weekend, unless you're a parent, and then it was just a lot of fun because we were just playing with the babies and watching TV and really not doing much of anything. I did make some more tempeh barbecue sandwiches, which were really awesome. Enjoyed those a lot. We used the Trader Joe's tempeh this time, as opposed to what I usually get from Whole Foods, which is the Light Life tempeh. And I've decided I like the Light Life tempeh better. It's more expensive, and it's actually got fewer calories and fat than the Trader Joe's. The Trader Joe's is a lot cheaper, almost half as much. It doesn't stick together as well as the Light Life stuff does, however. The Light Life stuff really sticks together pretty well when you cook it. So does the Trader Joe's, just not as well. So that was really good, though. I really enjoyed that. I ate a lot of bread this weekend, though. Probably shouldn't have gone that far. It was all vegan bread, sourdough, from a couple different places. I think we got some from Panera and maybe Publix as well. And I ate probably more than I should have of all that. So that's why I'm feeling fat today. Feeling fat this morning. But that's all right, you know. Again, it's just another day. Start all over. Try to do the best you can. Put one foot in front of the other and keep on going, right? So yeah. I'm trying to think if there was anything else I made over the weekend that was super yummy. It wasn't. I intended to do a lot of Colorado. The carrots. That's right. So the carrots turned out well. They were not phenomenal. They were not. They did not turn out the way I had hoped they would. I had hoped they would be a little bit more like hot dogs. My second attempt was better than my first. I did 2 attempts. The first attempt today or this weekend, I don't think I boiled them long enough, so they ended up being more crunchy like carrots than they needed to be. And the second one was better, but again, I still don't think I cooked them long enough. So I think it varies a lot based on the size of the carrots too. So if you have carrots that are really big, which I did, I tried to get small ones, but it didn't really pan out that way. Then that it makes a difference. So I would say all in all they were a success, but not what I had hoped for. So anyway, if you want to see anything that I eat, go over to my Instagram account, myunprocessed.life, or of course if you have any questions, you can always email me at myunprocessedlife@gmail.com. Additionally, of course, you can always leave comments down below. If you like hanging out with me, please click the like button or share it, and definitely subscribe if you haven't done that. I appreciate the time you spend with me. I love spending time with you, and I appreciate the fact that you chose to hang out with me for a few minutes. So have a great day. I'll talk with you this afternoon on my way home.